Good morning. Good morning. Today is October 22nd, 2020. Wow, wow, wow. What a week has it been for me? Um, this video is going to be more talking about my struggling with mental discipline and just sticking to the plan. It's been a real struggle for me for some reason this last week, and it's good that I'm noticing it. So I'm going to take a little step back from the markets and reevaluate what's really going on. So really the big things that I've been struggling with mentally is that the play that I've been focusing on was multi-day breakouts like I've discussed and intraday breakouts, low float multi-day and low float pre-market and low float intraday breakouts. But these things are so volatile, and me trying to play the -2 +4 on something that's so volatile has been just uh, demolishing me lately. So I literally had to take a step back. I took huge losses in this week, and it just completely demolished me mentally. Um, um, as far as capital goes, and my net worth and my net account, it wiped me out at least another. I want to say at least another 20%. And it's just mentally, I've been having to just sit and think about what's really going on, and it comes down to mental discipline of just sticking to the plan. So what I mean by that is it's getting to the point now. The specifics that I like to play, um, they're rare, right? So they don't happen all the time, and but when they do happen, they're extremely choppy. So it's very hard to capture a move when it's so choppy, especially with me trying to capture a -2 or +4. The +4 part is fine, but it's the extreme drop of the negative that has been getting me, because we've been just having huge drops at my breakout points, and they kind of pretty much just demolished me. Um, and that's not necessarily working for my favor. So I'm trying to now I want to track more data into something that's a little more slower as far as volatility goes, but something that is still potentially worth it. For example, IPDN, the stock I have here. So as you can see, it still fits my market cap criteria, 15.54 million, and it still fits my criteria of 5.74 million. But it's not trading, it's not as volatile, and it's not as heavy in volume. As you can see, 1.2 million, and it is 9 o'clock on the day. It hasn't been trading nothing heavy. As you can see, I took a roughly about a $600 position. So I made roughly about 8 or 9% on it. And it was just trying to buy, as you can see, if you look at the history of this stock, I want to go further out. Let's go 20. As you can see, it has pops and then drops, and then days later pulls back, comes close, drops, pulls back, drops, pulls back, drops, pulls back, and then see it drops here, and then it's slowly grinding back. As you can see, popped again, down, popped again, down. So I noticed it when they're low floats and they're doing this. I bought it yesterday in this candle at 118 at the close, and then I sold it in today for pretty much almost a 10-cent profit. To collect a nice 8-9% move on it. But everything else has just been killing me, man. Like everything else I've been trading has just been killing me mentally, because of the fact that when I try to collect my 4%, I've been doing a good job collecting it. The other day, I didn't get a chance to record a video, but I had took an immediate huge loss. I believe I was down like, what was it? I want to say I purchased 100 shares. I can't even really remember what it was. I can't remember what it was. But I want to say I purchased somewhat like 100 shares on a oh yeah, I purchased 100 shares on a $5 stock. Okay, and it just dropped immediately, tanked 71 cents, and it just kept tanking, and I had to cut it. There's nothing I could do, and so I wound up taking so off a $500 position size, a $71 loss. That is about like a 12% loss in one trade. I mean, realistically, $71 isn't that big on my account. Isn't that big of a loss as far as my net account goes, but for my individual trade of a $500 position size, to lose 12% is huge for me. And then I went into revenge mode because then I repurchased this stock again because it was so volatile. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I shifted over into another play that was showing strength. And that play, I happened to get in that one. That one was also a $5 stock. And I bought 100 shares on the $5 stock, and I rode it all the way to six. So I made a 20% move. I was up $1 a share and did not take it. I was being greedy. And then when it just started losing strength and it didn't hold, I mean, that would have been the best trade of the year so far, a 20% move that I would have captured, and I just didn't take it. And I winded up out with about a 4% gain instead of a 20% gain because I just allowed it. Um, I got greedy, man. I was hoping it'd retest the high of pre-market, which was I believe it was like 740. And when it touched six, it creeped over six a little bit to about as high as 604. And then it just, but it was extremely choppy, kind of like what you see here. I seen a pop, and then a huge pullback, and then a pop of a break, then a pullback, and then so I had bought it in the pop, looking like this when it broke, the level I was looking at, and then it pulled back really hard, but not enough to get me out, and then it broke through and just kept going, and the next thing I know, I was up 20%. I was up over $100, and that would have made me green on the day. But instead of taking it, I just let it play out, and then I noticed it started fading away. And so I got out with about a 4% profit instead of a 20% profit. So it's just little things like that mentally. It's just been getting to me lately. Again, it really wasn't that big. Obviously, that one was profitable, so I winded up finishing the day. I believe down like, you know, um, $50 minus $50 or something like that. Um, but overall, I think percentage wise, I was down maybe about like 8 or 9%, something like that. And that's not good for me. And then I've noticed again, I've talked about overnight plays and how I haven't been too good on them. Well, one overnight play looked really promising. It was a huge runner. I want to say it was KXIN. KXIN looked really promising, and I had purchased it at the close, and then it just kept tanking after hours, and I was out of day trades, so there's nothing I could do about that. And I was hoping for a pop in the morning. And it just, again, I wake up in the morning and it just keeps tanking, and that thing ate me alive as well. And I believe that one I lost about 20% in one account, and I purchased it in two accounts. So in one account I lost about 20%, in the other account, I lost about like 4% because I had bought it later in the after hours, so it was already tanking. And then it looked like it was finally holding support. So I repurchased it again. But again, not part of my strategy. And in this current market, like today, there's really nothing. If we go down the list, so for this one happened to be a pre-market breakout. But again, super choppy. Here's the pre-market breakout here in the 440s. And look, when it breaks in this candle, shoots straight up and just comes straight down. That's 450 down to $3. That's a dollar 40 that it dropped. And then that and that's exactly what I mean. The thesis is correct. It broke, backed up, and reversed and popped. But if I'm buying in here at the break, because this is a 5-minute candle, so let's go to a 1-minute. So when it breaks here and it shows this kind of strength, that's a great buy. But that's hard to enter if I'm hitting buy the ask. It could execute me here, and then when it pops, so then you wait for the pullback, and then now it's executing my order, and then drops, tanks, boom, you're instantly down. And that's kind of what I've been seeing lately, and it's just been eating me alive. Yes, the thesis was correct. It broke 450 and got as high as 676, so that's a $2 move, which is beautiful, but it's just so choppy, and it's making me frustrated because the thesis is correct, but under the PDT rule and playing this such choppiness under the PDT rule, I'm just getting eaten alive because I'm getting taken out here, and then boom, and then my trade's done. And then, like I said, then when you start seeing it gearing up here, so you're starting to see reverse, and then you would want to enter here, or I would want to enter here when it's breaking, looking like it's going to reverse, and then another tank, boom. So it's pretty much just been faking me out lately, and then running without me. That's kind of the issue that I've been going through mentally, and then that's kind of persuading me to want to try and trade other things, which I don't really have the data for. And with me now changing it, because even this drop is a $1.50 drop over 450, that's 200 shares, 200 shares 450, and it drops $1.50, or even right here 450 down to, in this one candle, almost $1 a share. So that would have been a 20% drop right there alone, and that's actually more than a 20% drop. That's like a 22 to 24% drop right there as soon as you buy. So that's the kind of thing that's been eating me alive lately. So I want to try to revise my strategy, because, like they say, if you just stick to doing the same thing and it's not working for you, then you're crazy. So it's just a matter of revising. Right now, obviously, in this current market, I'm not seeing the strength that I like to. Obviously, there is strength in this market, but the way I like to trade is not working, specifically for me. So it's just a matter of adjusting. So I'm going to take a step back from day trading for a little bit. There have been some investment strategies that I've been looking into to start investing for the long term. And then also, like I said, like IPDN, which happened to be a nice play. I think I'm going to look for stuff that's a little more slow and not trading as heavy, but the chart patterns are pointing in the right direction, like we see here with this reversal. This is kind of what I would look for in an intraday chart, but I'm buying it. This is a daily chart, and as you can see, it has history of spiking, pulling back, then spiking back up, pulling back, spiking back up, pulling back, spiking back up, pulling back, and this one was gearing up to spike back up. As you can see, this is looking nice. And so I purchased it yesterday at the close at $1.19, and I was able to get out at $1.28 today. And it was nice and slow. I could have actually made more profit. It got as high as 136. So let's do the math. 36 minus 19. So I could have actually made a nice 20% profit, double what I made there, and that would have been nice. But it was a lot more comfortable. Still a low float, still a small cap. So you could still catch the little squeezes coming off the bottom, basically like a dip buy when it's reversing. And it's slow. There's not that much people involved in here. It's only traded 1.2 million shares on a 5 million float, and we're in the middle of the day now. So it's just a matter of revising and studying more and collecting more data in this market, because again, the data that I collected for the particulars that I was looking for, I happen to just collect that data in a 3 to 4 month span of a extremely hot market when it during the coronavirus sector hype, and that was the data that gave me the confidence to go with this. But now we're seeing in the market without no hype, with the market without no sector running, that it's not necessarily working. So it's just a matter of understanding that and then trying to move forward from it and finding different strategies that are comfortable for me to execute. Which this was very comfortable for me to execute because I bought it at the end of day, after hours, after I had studied and looked at this chart and looked at, you know, just doing the homework on this particular ticker IPDN, and seeing that every time it spikes, it eventually reverses. So it's a patience game, and understanding that, and I had planned to be patient with it and was hoping to pop up here, which it still might give me the signal to repurchase this and buy it up here, or repurchase it again when it breaks, if it breaks this 147 level, which it very well can. As you can see, also, I had noticed, which made me purchase it in here, was the increase in volume. So you see here it's trading 250,000 shares, and then it went up to 400, or I'm sorry, a quarter million, so 260,000. And then here was 440,000. Then here it was 600,000. And so that's when I was like, okay, it's creeping back up, gaining volume. And then again, now today it doubled the volume with 1.2 million. And it had a nice push up to 136. So it's still potential watch on my radar for this particular stock, because it's nice and slow. Um, um, and since it's at the bottom already, we're not seeing huge pullback. You're seeing nice spikes, but no real big pullback. So it spiked up to 133 and then dropped down to 124. That's only 9 cents. And then popped here to 136 and then dropped down to 125, so 11 cents. So you're not seeing huge fluctuations of drops of 50 cents, 70 cents, 60 cents, because when you have a bunch of people involved, the volatility goes crazy. And I'm gonna continue watching this one for today, and if it maintains and holds this area and starts creeping back up, maybe over the 130 area, I might potentially buy it again, and then try to ride it to the 140s of the resistance at the 140 level that you see in here, with this red line. As you can see, this resistance 139 to the 145s, in that area. So that's just been a mental struggle that I've been dealing with, as far as discipline of just sticking to the plan, because I'm not seeing what I want to see on a regular basis. And so it's causing me to deviate and look up other things and try other things. And then even I've noticed, a lot of FOMO has been taking over. And with these huge runners, I might see where is this one? Yeah, let's go back to this one. Exactly, very similar to EVK, where this is what I'll see. I'll see this huge candle, boom, like this is a great squeeze right here, and then I'll see this huge candle. In this one candle, it went from 133 or 433 to 493. So that's a 60-cent move. A 60-cent move in one candle, and that gets me excited, and so I'll rush to buy, expecting it to squeeze more, and then boom, we get a huge drop, and that's been killing me. It's been getting me lately. So it's just a matter of stepping back now, collecting more data, and understand that this is a long term process, and it's I can't allow these things to destroy my mentality of man, I was on a good streak, and now I'm running through a bad streak of big losses because it's so choppy. So, it's just a matter of revising and just watch. So I'm not going to day trade for a while. I'm just going to watch. Or like IPDN, if I find things within my lane of comfort as far as market cap and float, and I'm gonna start looking for more of the dailies similar to this, where I'm starting to see it gear up a little bit, where there's not too many people involved, you know, and it looks promising from what I see, which is what this looked like in this candle. Volumes increasing. The history of the chart shows that every time it spikes, it eventually comes back. As you can even see here, boom, spikes here, pulls back, goes up. Spike, pulls or drops, pulls back, goes up, drops. So it had pretty much almost a triple top here, but it broke. It broke here, and this one didn't quite reach the high here, 44, here, 47. Didn't quite reach, but it could potentially go and pop again. So I'm going to keep my eye on this one. Slow and steady wins the race, instead of, trying to catch these extremely volatile moves that are kicking my ass because the volatility's so extreme. It's been getting me. So, you know, um, just a matter of stepping back. Obviously, the strategy I'm using isn't consistent enough for me personally because I'm very impatient. And I know that you have to understand these things about yourself. For me personally, I'm very impatient, which is why I like trading volatile stuff. But then again, the volatility has been killing me. So it's a matter of understanding that. Okay, so I know I'm impatient, so I'm always trying to jump in. But if they're moving extremely fast and I'm jumping in at the wrong point, then I'm going to continue to take big losses because of the volatility and because of my impatience. So for me, like here, my impatience, you know, I could buy it at market close, and if it's looking promising, sell it at market open, or just sell it the next day. Period. Because here, I bought it in the 118s, and then at 7 o'clock it spikes up to the 130s. Um, but I didn't want to wake up to the market open this morning because I didn't want to be tempted to trade something that I seen like EVK, and because I guarantee you I would have definitely traded EVK this morning, and it would have bit me in the ass once it broke the pre-market high. Once it broke here, it would have ate me alive and dropped, and I'd have took a huge loss again. And that's pretty much what I've been seeing lately for this last week, and it's been eating me alive mentally. I have dipped way further than I would like because, like I said before, net wise, I was down roughly around 20% net with 25% net, which isn't bad over 3 month period. Do the math. That's a minus 8%, 9% net. In the process of me going on my trading journey, figuring this out, and then in 1 week, I almost doubled that. So yeah, man. So it's just a matter of understanding that, understanding myself, understanding that my impatience in these extremely volatile stocks is what's killing me. Um, and so maybe I should stick to slower things. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start looking and collecting data on different strategies that are a little more slower, not as volatile, because the volatility is what's killing me. Because I collect nice gains, but I just been taking bigger losses than my gains lately, and it's because of the volatility and it's because of my impatience. So I understand that, and so that's why I'm going to take a step back, reevaluate all the data I have now, reevaluate these videos, reevaluate everything possible, and start searching and collecting data on things that are going to work for me and my personality, because it's what it's about. It's about us as individuals. And so far, for my personality, I've been collecting nice gains, but I've also been collecting big losses. So that tells me there's something that needs to change, whether it's the strategy itself or whether it's my mental capability of self discipline. I'm trying to work on that as well. But again, I'm gonna take a step back and try to go for things that are less volatile and more promising. So I'm gonna start collecting data. So I'm gonna take a step back and just collect data because lately I've just been collecting data on my trades. But now I'm gonna take a step back and not trade and just collect data only on specifics. And like I said, with IPDN, I really liked IPDN chart for the year. The annual chart pattern, which led me to wanting to purchase this and collected a nice 9% profit on it, just holding it overnight. So maybe start looking into strategies similar to this, finding stocks that are extremely choppy on a daily and trying to purchase them at the bottom because look, there's a lot of support in this dollar area. As you can see, boom, 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 holding, and then it's gradually climbing up now. Doom, doom, doom. So, just look for different things. Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. So that's the lesson for today. IPDN worked for me for trying to figure out something new. So I did have a green day today, but it's just stepping back from what I've been trading with so much volatility because with the PDT rule, I can't get back in these things. So, for instance of EVK, if I was not under the PDT rule, I could have easily just took that loss and been patient, and I could have might have taken the second loss right here, been patient, but under the PDT rule, I'm done for the day now. But then if I'd have noticed it gear back up here, and then break this high of day, because this has been the high of day, boom, breaks here, and then I could have bought it in here, and then it runs, and it's a cleaner run. Look at that pullback from the break. If I would have caught the squeeze, maybe it would have got me somewhere in the 520s. Pulls back in here to the 513. So that's off of 200 shares. That's nothing. That's a 2% drop, and then it runs $1. So that would have been a 20% move, a 2% drop compared to 20% move. That's typically what I'm looking for. That's what I like to see. But they just been so choppy. We're getting a big squeeze and then a 20% drop, then a squeeze up here, and then another a 10-15% drop. Like that's very difficult to try to trade when you're under the PDT rule, trying to capture the big move. That's very hard. So I could have easily took a whole total of 10% loss and then made a 20% move and been up plus 10% on the day. If I was free to just trade. And then IPDN just had a nice spiker up to the 131 area. Nice. So again, this is showing promise that it can do what I want it to do. Let's see it hold up that area, and I might be tempted to repurchase this. So again, man, it's just a matter of understanding yourself as a trader, understanding where you're at mentally, understanding your own discipline, understanding how the market is doing for you as an individual. And so far with the strategies that I've revised, it just has not been working. I've been collecting nice gains, but I've been taking huge losses. And so mentally, it's just been defeating for me. So I need to take a step back away from the computer and adjust and collect more data, learn more. And that's what I can do. Just study, and understand what's really going on for me personally and find things that are going to work for me personally in the long run. All right. So that's the lesson for today. And it's just taking a step back and reevaluate everything and understand this is a long-term game, man. I can't let just a week of complete mental disaster influence my long-term game. It's just take a step back, take a breather, and review, and find what's going on and where you're going wrong. And like I said, it's the fact that I'm so impatient with such volatile stocks that it's been eating me up because I'm rushing into these moves when they make the breaks, and then they're dropping really hard, and I can't even get out at my -2. I'm getting out at -10, -12, -8, and it's just been eating me if you're doing that repeatedly. And so, this week has just been, I've had green days, but just the losses are so much bigger than the wins that mentally I just have to stop and reevaluate everything until I find my comfort zone again, and then I will come back, and then you will probably see more videos further down the line when I find my comfort zone again, because I found my comfort zone numerically, but that comfort zone numerically isn't working for what I'm trying to trade, because they're extremely volatile. So it's a matter of stepping back away from that and finding something more in my comfort level that's not moving so fast, and learning how to capture those moves, because that allows me some breathing room where it's not dropping 20% in 1 minute. If it drops 20%, I want it to at least play out for like an hour or so before it drops. So that's roughly, so I'm gonna collect more data on things like IPD and new strategies similar to this, and see how they work out for me, and just collect the data, man. And then if I have enough data and I feel comfortable trading it, then I'm gonna go and try to capture those moves instead. So it's a learning process. It's a learning curve for me. And so right now I need a mental break of stepping back and collecting more data, and having more knowledge, because obviously my impatience with volatile stocks is not working at this moment. So it's just a matter of stepping away, understanding that, and now I do, and reevaluate everything and see where the strengths are and where the weaknesses are, and understanding where to really stick my mind to. All right. So that's it for today. Don't know when my next video will be. Like I said, I'm going to take a step back and reevaluate everything and start collecting more data, and stay away from day trading for now, unless there is something really promising. But I mean, it has to be extremely promising, with no choppiness at all, and it still would have to be roughly around a low market cap and a low float for me even willing to trade it. But I want to see more consistency of momentum than extreme choppiness. All right. So till next time, that's the lesson for today.